I don't see anything there. Never saw nothing. Really fucked up the ICE was even there in the first place. Shouldn't have been there. Wrong place. Wrong place to be.
With you, I don't think this is the end of the story, and I think the way that this team has conducted.
Yeah, all I see is a beautiful swarm of bees.
Itself, it's been nothing short of appalling.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now, Kash Patel potentially needs a win after what's happened or not happened with the Epstein files. And now the FBI has launched criminal investigations into former FBI Director James Comey and former CIA Director John Brennan for their potential wrongdoing in the Trump-Russia collusion hoax, including allegedly lying to Congress about the Steele dossier, which contained salacious allegations tying...
Oh, Real Stoner Ruby, thank you for the gifted sub to Arun, by the way. I appreciate that.
Donald Trump to Russia. Sources told Fox News that the FBI described the duo's interactions as a conspiracy. This is what the president had to say about this morning.
President Trump, James Comey and John Brennan now under criminal investigation related to the Trump-Russia
he's so leathery
probe. Do you want to see these two guys behind
he's so
bars?
Doughy.
Well, I know nothing about it other than what I read today, but I will tell you, I think they're very dishonest people. I think they're crooked as hell, and maybe they have to pay a price for that. I believe they are truly bad people and dishonest people, so whatever happens, happens.
James, what's your assessment of this?
Well, I certainly agree with the president that these are dishonest people. And I just want to start by going back to 2016 and when this whole Russiagate hoax started. And it was exactly that. It was a complete hoax. It was an extra legal effort, an extra political effort by the Democrats to take down the president. They lost at the ballot box, and then they initiated this years-long campaign to try and undermine him while he was in office. This was the beginning of democratic lawfare, and it just persisted with Trump throughout the next 10 years. And it really did start off this negative cycle in American politics. Now, James Comey...
That's a really dumb point. Lawfare, as if Trump is not like a serial criminal anyway. It's just the hypocrisy comes from DC being a network of criminals already. They just don't like the kind of criminal Trump is or how loud he does the crime. Anyway. Here's Taylor Lorenz. Let's hear from someone who knows what they're talking about, along with Will Sommer, on MAGA's Epstein crash out and what's next.
A real animating issue for the MAGA movement, for the Trump administration. We got to release the Epstein client list. So all of a sudden there's this flip where, they're saying, oh, sorry, Epstein case closed. And, you got to wonder.
The Jeffrey Epstein saga undeniably represents a major failure of our justice system. But since the case broke years ago, it has generated an endless string of conspiracy theories, controversy, and public outrage. It's also become one of the biggest animating topics on the MAGA right. But this week, the Department of Justice and FBI came out with a joint statement saying, there's actually no evidence that Epstein ever blackmailed powerful figures, kept a client list, or was even murdered. Obviously, this is causing a complete meltdown on the right, and to help make sense of it all, I have Will Sommer, a reporter for The Bulwark who covers the right-wing internet. Will,
wait,
welcome.
Roseanne turned on Trump? Do you have a link to that? I need to see Roseanne. No way.
Okay, so I wanted to talk to you because I feel like you've been covering all of this Epstein drama, and we've all been seeing MAGA people melt down and this chaos this week. So just to back up a little bit, can you talk about what happened this week that was notable?
Yes, so Jeffrey Epstein, obviously the infamous human trafficker, very well connected. And so the question of how did he die in jail? How was he so well connected? Where did he get his money? And really, ultimately, who was he trafficking women towards? Who, how did he, were these famous people he was friends with involved? And so this has been a real animating issue for the MAGA movement, for the Trump administration. Just a few weeks ago, J.D. Vance was on Theo Vaughn's podcast saying, we got to release the Epstein client list. So this is really
Mr. President, yes, we still care about Epstein. Is there a time to not care about child sex trafficking? Read the damn room.
That's awesome. Why don't you do a podcast episode about that? Roseanne, get me on. I'd love to talk to you about this. Have you ever heard of the Epstein tapes? MAGA doesn't even know about that shit. You could just introduce it now like it just came out instead of in the middle of the election season.